Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are currently ready to hook up the Kibo exposed facility and exposed section. But for right now, let's just get turned very slowly right on over, because we need to get over to the other side of the station here. So we're just going to slowly round around here. Okay, I don't really... Actually, we should be on kill rot. There we go. I don't really want to have the tail facing this way. We could accidentally clip something with it. So we're just going to head on over here, and looks like we've overshot this a little bit. I want the nose to be pointing about here or so. Okay, right about there should do the trick. And then we'll just rotate so that our wings are roughly parallel with the station here. Just around here or so. That should be relatively safe. And let's just burn about here at around 1 meter per second is probably good enough. Let's go ahead and turn this around. Actually, we could take this up to 2 meters per second, to be honest. So that would be about here. That's 2.2. Close enough. And let's move this around to relative velocity minus, and we can physics warp this. This is dangerous. I shouldn't be physics warping. Okay, let's unphysics warp. There we go. Let's just rotate this guy right on over here. Still not the finest frame rate. I did just restart the game, and maybe it needs it again, to be honest, after that physics warp. I don't know. Let's just get into position, and I think I probably will restart the game at that point. But let's just head on over here, because we need to get on the far side over here, right? So this will be absolutely fine. And we can start coming to a bit of a halt here. There we go. 1.8. 1 meter per second. I think we need to go a little further here. Yeah. Around here or so. There we go. Now we can bring this down to a halt. Okay, we'll call that good for now. We'll put this onto kill rot, and we need to start deploying our payload here. But this frame rate has gone downhill quite a lot. I'm going to restart the game already. I'll see you guys in just a moment. Okay, here we are all restarted, and at this point, the frame rate is definitely running a little bit better, so that is good. What is less good is what appears to be going on with our robotic arm here. That might get fixed on its own, though, after we get these struts removed. Let's see what happens with that. That could be very interesting. This is apparently not doing so well in here. Let's remove this strut. And we don't actually have anywhere to put it. We'll just put it up over here for now. That'll be absolutely fine for the moment. Then this one, it's definitely moving as we do that. So that's probably okay. It'll probably recover here. And then this final strut should be the only one. Yeah, it appears to be working on recovery. So let's just get this out of the way here. And we'll just let this thing figure out where it's going to go. Not entirely sure what it's doing here. This is not how the robotic arm is supposed to work. This is definitely a little bit buggy here, but we can work with it. So that should be reasonably fine. Now, this over here is where we're going to be attaching this stuff, right? But we need to figure out how exactly this is set up here. Okay, so for the moment, what do we have going on with this? If we opened this alligator hinge, what happens? Does that force it to figure out where it's going to go? What happens if we rotate this rotation servo? Okay, it appears that clipping it into this is probably what broke it, but this is going to end up being workable. It's not going to be pretty, but it'll be workable. So we're just going to take this around to 0 degrees here. Okay. And we'll do something kind of like that. Now we're going to need to freeze this crazy... Whoa. Okay, apparently Bill just let go for some reason. I guess that allows us to warp, but whatever. Bill, I'm going to need you to get back on the shuttle. Did you get bonked off or something? He might have. That might have been what happened there. Okay, why don't you head right back in? And we're going to need to stabilize this thing a bit. Okay. Come on, bud. I just... Why are you facing this way? There you go. Yeah, face this direction. Okay, I want you to grab on. Any moment now. There you go. Okay, this is getting kind of awkward, but at this point, we're going to need to extend this out because we clearly need a little bit more space here. Okay, that should do for now. Now I'm going to switch over to Bill here, which is right here, and we're going to strut this on so that it doesn't wave around quite as wildly. So we're going to strut this from here up to here. Did we miss a plate here? I'm not sure what's going on with that. Is it in here somewhere? It might be. It might be in here somewhere, but for now, I'm not too concerned about it. So I'm going to start detaching some of these parts. This isn't very complicated, right? So we're just going to detach some of these experiment storage units, and we're just moving them up over here. We're just going to have to reassemble this. And it's going to be attaching in over on this side, if I recall correctly. This is the side that attaches to the station, and this is the side that we want to attach this to. We knew we'd have to reassemble this in orbit, so that is absolutely fine. Let's get that done. Okay, get out of here. There we go. And then this, we can only move one part at a time. So we'll get this up over here for now. There we go. And finally, this part. Are we out of range of that? Surely we can move this. I'm going to be upset if we can't move that. Come on, Bill. Why are you just repeatedly getting out your drill? Okay. Let's head over here. Bill is just not behaving very well. Come on, bud. Let's just park you right around here. Surely he can grab this part, right? Is this, like, connected to a part or something? Why won't you grab this, Bill? Okay, I guess Bill refuses to grab this part here. Although he grabbed this battery. Okay, I don't want to grab the battery. So we're just going to have to omit this. It's just an adapter. It's not the end of the world, but it would make it prettier. No doubt about that. So this is going to end up going... Well, it was intended to go... I think here. No, it was intended to go here. Right. So it goes like that. Okay. Well, we don't need to have that part there. It just would have made it slightly prettier. So we can do this, and then we can put on these experiment storage units, and they are definitely angled in a awkward way for this. But we can position that in a different way, of course, with the rotation tool. Come on. There we go. About... there. Cool. Now we'll grab this one. And I'm just going to put that here for now. We're just going to roughly place these, and then we'll finally position them. So we'll grab this one next, and that one's going to go somewhere around here. That's actually angling nicely. Interesting. And then we'll grab this one. And we'll position that one about here. Okay, so now we want to get the fine positioning of these a little bit better. So I want to turn off snapping here and just change the angling of these ever so slightly. Then we're going to move these. I kind of want to disguise our lack of adapter at this point. So I want this in local space, and I'm just going to move this up to about here. And then this up to about here, and then we'll just kind of move them together like this, again, to disguise that lack of adapter. Okay, so that'll be fine. We need to grab rotationally this guy about there. And then I'm going to position this about here. Maybe a little further over. About here. And then this one will go about here. Okay, so there we go. There's that reassembled. Perfect. Next, of course, we're going to have to get out of here. So anytime you feel willing to move, Bill, that would be great. Bill? Are you okay there? Bill is just like, you know what? I like this spot. I'm going to refuse to move. Okay. Thanks, Bill. Bill is very happy in his newfound spot. Perfect. Let's exit Kerbal construction mode. And let's see if that makes him able to move. Yeah, now he's able to move. Weird. This is a strange direction to be going, Bill. I don't want to go this way. Bill is being very, very non-cooperative right now. Come on, Bill. Just face the way I want you to. There you go. Cool. Now Bill has figured it out. Okay, so we're going to have to get Bill back inside, and then we're going to have to dock this thing up. It's going to be at an awkward angle, no doubt about that, but we can work with this. We can definitely make this work. No problem. We've had to have a couple of odd things happening here, but it's absolutely fine for the moment. So we're going to need to dock this up here. But we need to figure out, like, what direction is what, right? So this is going to be in the zenith direction. So what that ends up meaning is we are going to yaw this down. Like so, until we are about here or so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this to be about here. And then we're going to have to pitch it a little bit, but that's to be expected. So it'll be about here or so. And obviously, from this perspective, we need to go back. But first, what we need to do is we need to move this arm out of the way. That's easy enough to do. We're just going to put this target angle up to 90 degrees here. So we're just going to move it up and out of the way. There we go. No problem. Next, this is going to have to move in. So we're going to, if we control from here, I have no idea what the various directionalities are going to be. And I do think that we're going to need to furl these solar panels to give ourselves a little bit more space here. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, what direction is what here? I want to look at our thrusters. Okay, so that's basically up and down. Okay, I think this is roughly the direction that we want to go, which from the perspective of this is apparently up. Gotcha. So we're just going to head over here, and we're going to roughly align. So we're going to need to head in at around 0.5 meters per second or so. Something like that. Then the question is, are we going to be impacting anything coming in like this? We might. I don't know. There's not a lot of space here. I feel like it's going to be pretty squishy. If we need to come in from a different angle, we can. We can change the angle of this. For the time being, I'm going to try this, and we'll see if it ends up working. But I'm not 100% confident. This is going to be very squishy. Really, if we want to be clever, we would just remove this strut, rotate this around 180 degrees, put the strut back in, and then go in. but we'll see. We might have the space to do it here. We almost certainly would have the space to do it here if the robotic arm hadn't have broken in flight, but, you know, here we are. It's fine. We can work with it. We have options. So if we don't have the space to do this, then there are other things that we can do. Which, it is a fair amount of space that will be needed. And I'm thinking that we're probably going to have to come in from a different angle right now. I'm just looking at how much space we actually have. And it's really not a lot. Okay. It really is not a lot. We can always reduce the amount of space, of course, by reducing the amount of extension that we have here. That is an option. Is it a good option? Potentially. But I don't think that we do have the space here, as of right now. Actually, it's going to be real squishy. It's going to be real squishy. But we might be able to do it. I'm just looking at our alignment here. Our alignment looks actually kind of decent. And we've got a little bit of margin here still. So I think we slightly overshot this. The real question that I have right now is if we're here, right, and we're angling for here, where do we need to go? The answer is mostly forward from this direction. So that is functionally left, which makes sense. This is off to our left. So we can see our direction of velocity there. I think we do barely have the room here. I'm a little concerned that we're going to impact here. Yeah, I'm going to push out away from the station a little bit here because of that. Okay. But honestly, that looks like it's moving in about the right directionality at this point. I'm pretty concerned about the fact that this is so off-center right now. But if we can get our wing under control here. Okay. I don't know what our clearance is looking like for that wing. But we're just bringing this very, very gently in right now. Okay. We need to change our overall trajectory here a fair amount, I think. Because what we need to do right now is be basically heading towards the target. Primarily. If we set our heading to be towards target and we turn to face target, what does that look like? That makes it worse on the wing front. Okay. So if we do this, we are absolutely going to impact with the wing. So we need to get a little bit closer here at this point. So that means positioning. Come on, just stay where I put you. Positioning somewhere about here. Oh, you're trying to turn back to target. No wonder. Okay, just stay where I put you, which is right here for right now. And then we go towards target. About like this. This is going to be very awkward. No doubt about it. But we just need to get some maneuvering done here. We'll just position it about there. And the question is, just how much space do we have available here? The answer is not a lot. I'm afraid that when we turn, we're going to push the station. Like I said, we have very, very little space here. And I really probably should bring this in from a different angle. I really probably should, but I want to try this. I feel like we can do it. I feel like we can. Okay, I'm bringing us to a halt right now. And you might ask why. The answer is I want to have Bill EVA. And I want to temporarily remove this strut, which is going to cause this thing to start wildly vacillating, right? And that's not necessarily ideal, but it's also not necessarily unideal. So I want to remove this strut. Come on. Any moment now. Just position it there. Yep, that's fine. And I want to hop in here. I want to retract this a little bit. Down to about here or so. Okay. Now I want to go back to Bill. And I want to grab this strut. Oh, this thing is moving so much. Can you not, please? That would be great. Okay, just hold it there. Okay. Now we'll point at target. Okay, and as far as our rotational directionality goes, we need to go up a little bit from this perspective, which would be right. Which we'll do. We don't need to go up very much. This will buy us a little bit of extra space as well, which is good. Okay. About here or so. And then we need to head in towards the target. In a somewhat awkward manner. But in towards the target, nevertheless. Okay, how are we doing on our actual directionality, though? The answer is it's definitely very not perfect. We actually need to bring this to a halt. This angling is so awkward. Okay. Let's figure out what rotational direction is what. Okay. We need to bring it up this direction, I think. These directions are so awkward. Okay. We need to try to align it here, right? That's what I'm trying to do right now. So, is that a roll? Functionally. But it's a very, very strange roll. Okay. That is an incredibly strange roll, and it's probably actually a composition of a couple of these vectors. RCS off, please. Okay. Ooh, hang on. Not quite that much. We need to just put this on to kill rot for right now. Okay. So we need to bring this guy up and position it about here or so in terms of angling. Then we're going to have to go a bit down and over to our right? And I have no idea what vector is what for that. So down is going to end up being kind of down, but that's also kind of like... Yeah, it's going to end up being like this way. Okay. There we go. One vector at a time. Let's do it one vector at a time. So we're just watching the positioning here. Bringing it to a halt about now. Other direction. We're going to overshoot this because I got that wrong. Hang on. I definitely got it wrong. Yeah, these vectors are wild. And that's not shocking considering the state of our robotic arm. So that's okay. We're just going to bring this back up to about here. Okay, parking there. Now we want to go in this direction. There we go. And I think we have the room for it. Maybe. I hope. We don't have a lot of room here. We definitely don't have a lot of room here. I believe we have impacted here. Okay, so at this point, that pretty much tells a story. And that story is this ain't gonna work. The angle that we have here is just, there's not enough space. And that was the conclusion that I came to earlier, and I should have just run with it, but I didn't. So we're just going to have to take this off. This thing's gonna start flailing all over the place. We're going to do that for now. Oh, I accidentally grabbed it again. Come on, get in here. Okay. Now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to control from here. Smart ASS, please go away. Okay, control from here. Next, we're going to have to get a little space. So let's bring this out. RCS is going to need to be on, but we need to go in this direction. And just get a little bit of distance here. Okay. Then we're going to have to turn this guy around. And I want to turn this to be, instead of at minus 68, I want it to be... Oh, this is going to flail around all over. But I want it to be at about minus 90. Well, I want it to be facing basically forward. Okay. This is not currently facing basically forward. What's minus 180 looking like? Okay. Awkward angles are so awkward here. Okay. We'll just have to have it be something around there. And then, Bill, I'm going to need you to grab this guy and attach it here. And then attach it up here when this is relatively straight. So about here or so. Okay. Now we can hop in, now that this has been a bit stabilized. And we're going to have to come in... Well, actually, I need to think about angling here. Because this needs to go in a specific orientation. So the angling is going to need to be, RCS is going to need to be off. The angling is going to need to be out over this direction. We're going to have to yaw it over the other way. This doesn't feel like yaw. Control from here. Yaw this over. There we go. That's yaw. Okay. And we're going to have to bring this over to be aligning in... Please don't impact the nose. Let's pitch this a bit. And it's going to have to be heading in about like this, right? With this side being facing zenith up. So it's going to need to be somewhere up over this way. Go into kill rot, please. Okay. So with that in mind, does that give us more or less space to work with? I kind of feel like that's less. I don't know. I'll need to think about how we want to do this. We could, I suppose, just hand it off to this robotic arm, but that doesn't work. Like, if this was real life, we could do that. But that's not actually going to be functional. This robotic arm being this broken is really not great at this time. It's harming us a fair amount. So there's no doubt about that. How do we want to handle that then? We would need to compensate for it it's going to be a pretty complicated thing. I think we're going to have to put a cut in here, and next episode, we're going to have to properly bring this in. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get our momentum here. Okay, things are a little bit awkward here. Let's get our momentum killed. Let's get this brought in next episode. We'll have a better plan on how we want to attach this next episode. I need to think about, like, orientation of this and how we need to bring it in. We need to bring it in to where this is, I think, inverted. Because we want to be coming in with the shuttle on this side, not on this side, which means that the nadir side needs to be pointing up from where it is right now. Okay, I think in that case, we can just hop out over here. We can grab this. It's going to start waving around, of course. That's expected. And we'll just get that put in there for the moment. Okay, so we need the nadir side to be facing up. So that basically means instead of being at negative 141, we want this to be at, like, zero-ish degrees. But what that means is that... hang on here. This is, of course, going to become... that puts us at the same side. That puts us at the same side. So what we need to do then is we need to rotate this around to 0. This arm is so broken. It is so fundamentally broken here. Okay. What happens if we angle this hinge? Weird things happen. But honestly, this is not the worst thing in the world. Having it out over here? That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay. Well, I think I'm just going to leave it like this for now, and we'll figure out an orientation that we can attach this with. The robotic arm is, like, completely bugged out. There's no doubt about that. The robotic arm is not doing well. But we'll figure out a way that we can get this attached, 100%. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.